Yeah, I work in the building.
What do you do?
I'm an architect.
It's the architect, man. Errol Spence Jr., man, let me stop. No, congratulations. Well, not congratulations, but good for Errol Spence, man. Um, you know, hopefully this fight gets finalized. I believe it will. Um, it makes a lot of sense for both parties. Chris Algieri and Errol Spence. It's set to be in the Barclays Center in New York, so that's a good venue. PBC has been holding it down for a while, and Showtime and all of that. But yeah, man. Uh, Others are pretty sure have spoke on this, and it's a good barometer for Errol Spence Jr. It's a good test. It's a good way to see where he's at now. He's fighting a real fighter, Chris Algieri is no pushover, but Chris Algieri also isn't a A-level guy, So we get to see Errol Spence take a good, legitimate step up without, jumping into, I think, maybe a bit too much right off the back. Not saying that he wouldn't be ready for some of the top guys within a year or two or whatever, or maybe even by the end of the year, but jumping straight into one of those fights is kind of dangerous when you haven't fought anybody nowhere near that level. But yeah, Chris Algieri, man, good fighter. It's going to be interesting to see this, fight, because Chris Algieri throws he's a good, solid mover. He has a really good jab. As we see in the last fight against Amir Khan, no, not necessarily Amir Khan. I'm thinking Manny Pacquiao. He has some good right hands, towards the southpaw, and that could be very important in this fight. I don't think this is just an easy win for Errol Spence. I mean, there's no indication that it would be, because I haven't seen him fight anybody at this level. Last fight, I forgot the name of the guy he fought. I don't feel like looking it up right now, but he was tested in that fight a little bit, and that guy was long and rangy and was able to give him a little bit of trouble. He came through, of course, because he was a better fighter, but Chris Algieri could present some problems, man, and especially if we get the Chris Algieri that isn't floating around the ring and doing a lot of unnecessary movement and fighting like an amateur like he was before John David Jackson. I feel like this fight is even more interesting because, now that he's with John David Jackson, Chris Algieri is, putting combinations together, standing in there, being a little bit tougher and actually setting up shots instead of just trying to, toss one out there and get out of the way just to, score. He's actually trying to set up shots, break opponents down. And if he's continuing that trend, this could be a very, very exciting fight. I mean, his last fight with Amir Khan, Chris Algieri, was fairly exciting. It didn't have to be if he would have fought, a similar style fight that he was fighting before he fought him. But yeah, man, Errol Spence, this is going to be a good chance for us to see how good he is. Like I said, it's not going to be an easy fight. He will be tested, I believe. But if he is how they say he is, or who they say he is, or as good as they say he is, he'll be able to put it on display in this fight, and it'll be a great thing because it'll be at the Barclays Center. Chris Algieri is from Long Island, so I expect it to be a good amount of fans there for Chris Algieri, and a great showcase for Errol Spence Jr., man. Once again, just shout out to Errol Spence Jr. for getting this opportunity to step up, and let's see what he got, because I'm excited. I want to see what he does, and if Chris Algieri pulls the fight off, big thanks for him down the line. You know what I mean? He puts his name right back into the mix, I believe, because of the way the aura of Errol Spence has been going around. It'll be a good comeback victory for him. I know I've said Errol Spence hasn't really fought anybody, but still, I think it's a good, victory, because I believe Errol Spence will be the favorite in this fight. But yeah, man, great for Errol Spence, great for Chris Algieri, good thing for boxing right now, and I'm out.